Your top stories this evening, sponsored by Courts Bringing Value Home. Booming economic development for Linden under APNU. Norton VOWS. PPPC eyes 55,000 votes from BERBICE. Again, promises to revive the sugar industry. PPPC destroyed the very fabric of the Guyana Police Force. APNU candidate Paul Williams breaks his silence. And Guyana's oil wealth yet to translate into meaningful poverty alleviation, listed among the region's poorest. IDB report. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm ALETHEA Grant with the Monday 21st July 2025 edition of the HGP Nightly News. This is what you need to know this evening. Aubrey Norton, the presidential candidate of a Partnership for National Unity, proposed a bold vision for the development of the mining town of Linden, which includes diversifying economic activities within the region. Antonia Day opens tonight's broadcast.
Well, it is not solely revitalizing the bauxite industry. It is also using the oil resources to ensure you can get involved in the development of a smelter, so you're not just sending raw aluminum out the country.
That was Aubrey Norton, presidential candidate for the Partnership for National Unity, responding to Nightly News' questions regarding the bauxite industry Friday last during his party's weekly press conference. Mr. Norton observed that the market for products like aluminum is growing, and the Partnership for National Unity coalition, once in office, will explore avenues to diversify Region 10's economic activities way beyond the bauxite industry that residents heavily rely on for their sustenance.
We believe, for instance, that we can develop a proper tile industry. Linden has some of the best soils, clay to do tiles, etc. So we have also said we will promote sustainable agriculture in all regions, which will include Linden.
The seasoned politician revealed that there is also potential for including youths in the digitalization of Linden and Guyana, making information more accessible. Under an APNU-led government, Linden will experience holistic development, the party leader assured.
So there are a plethora of things that we will do to increase bauxite production and probably another bauxite company or so, and diversify the economy of Region 10.
Antonia Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
The governing People's Progressive Party Civic turned up the heat in BERBICE on Sunday as President Irfan Ali and the General Secretary of the party, Barrett Jagdeo, pushed BERBICians for a vote target while defending the sugar industry. Find out more from Tiana Cole.
President Irfan Ali appealed for 55,000 votes from Region 6 as he pledged to continue reviving the sugar industry. He also warned supporters about the dangers of electing a minority government.
You are not only voting by putting your X, you are voting because your region will have the national and regional school of hospitality right here in your region. You're not only voting because we're going to keep sugar alive and keep those sugar jobs alive. You're voting because we will give our sugar workers more, and we want them to be part of the ownership of the industry.
Meanwhile, PPPC General Secretary Barrett Jagdeo launched a fierce attack on the opposition APNU, pointing an accusing finger at for what he says is undermining democracy and threatening national unity and development.
Our country was split along racial lines because of the lies they told about Chadi Jagan and the PPP. And today, we're breaking down those barriers, we're dismantling the lies so that we can become a national united party.
Jagdeo accusingly said if the opposition had succeeded in 2020, Guyana would have faced international sanctions and diplomatic isolation.
And that is what the PNC was leading us to when they sought to steal the elections in 2020.
He also accused the former administration of systemic discrimination against Region 6 and said the PPPC has reversed much of that with large-scale infrastructure and social programs. Among the initiatives announced were a 4-lane highway from Molson Creek to New Amsterdam and the construction of 2 new regional hospitals to transform healthcare and connectivity in the East BERBICE quarantine area.
Only with a PPP government can this region make progress.
Jagdeo reserves his sharpest criticism for the opposition's proposed policies on sugar, warning that, if implemented, they could result in 4,500 job losses and a collapse of a sector still vital to the regional economy. With the September 1 date looming, he called on Region 6 voters to deliver 55,000 votes to ensure a decisive PPPC victory.
We will continue to work to ensure that the cost of living comes down to everyone.
Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Quote, the Guyana police force still have good people, but they are not being put in positions where they can serve the people, end of quote. So says a senior retired policeman, Dr. Paul Williams, who is now a candidate for the A Partnership for National Unity, APNU. Dr. Williams also broke his silence on why he was overlooked for the Commissioner of Police. Travis Chase reports.
Retired Deputy Police Commissioner Paul Williams, who was overlooked by the People's Progressive Party civic government for the role of Commissioner of Police, is one of the new faces that has emerged as a candidate for the Partnership for National Unity. Dr. Paul Williams, in addressing the thousands gathered at the Melanie Market Square for a rally held by the APNU, explained why he moved from policing to politics.
It's because after listening to this wicked government continuously telling you people that you don't have leaders. You don't have leaders. And I was waiting for the opportunity to finish my service and now to step up to show that we have leaders.
The retired policeman, who finally broke his silence on why he was not appointed Commissioner of Police, said he had refused to be a candidate for wickedness and corruption for the PPP regime.
And I've done everything that is right, with integrity, with honesty, and in keeping with what it requires. But they see it fit to set me aside because they know I would not have been one of their candidates for wickedness and corruption.
Without referencing the 2025 United States International Narcotics Control Strategy Report, which states that corruption within law enforcement, bribery and nepotism in the public sector and political entities further complicate the fight against drug trafficking, Mr. Williams further accused the government of using and destroying the Guyana police force.
Destroy every fabric of the culture that is built by our persons, our predecessors. They have destroyed all the camaraderie and everything in the force. They have burned bridges with those retired senior officers, both from the joint services, and who could have still lent a helping hand in terms of bringing them through these situations and circumstances. But no, they need those who they can make puppets and those who can go with their bids and continue with the wrong. And still you want to see those people serving you? No way.
Mr. Williams urged youths especially to stay away from crime, not to fall into the traps of the police, and that they should cease responding to street names such as Scrapes and Killer. On the issue of contracts, Mr. Williams posited that not only will the APNU government give contracts, but contracts that can sustain lives.
Some of you feel good because, you know why? I get in a little bread, I get in a little food. Come on, man. Anytime you just depending on getting a little bread and a little food, you are allowing somebody to dictate your life. How you eat, how you sleep, where you go, despite you're adults. Why you want a little food? I think by now you should be thinking You want to cook a pot of food so you could share, you can give. That is what you need to think of. Not no pot of food, not no little food or a eat of bread. Come on, there's much more than that. And APNU is going to give you that opportunity.
Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
Thanks, Travis. Join us after the break. We have more news for you.
Welcome to SNL Electrical Inc., where lighting's and electrical needs are met with expertise and style. From the latest in electrical lamps to durable cables, circuit breakers, panels, we have it all. Illuminate your space with our elegant chandeliers, stunning crystal lights, and versatile pole lights. Looking to upgrade your comfort? Explore top-of-the-line AC units and our diverse selections of stylish styles. Visit us at 170-180 Thomas Street, Kitty, Georgetown. Discover a solution that not only lights up your world but transforms it. Call us on telephone number 226-3018 or 223-1634. SNL Electrical Inc. powering your life with elegance, quality, and care.
With 70% ethyl alcohol, Mighty Foam Hand Sanitizer eliminates 99.99% of all germs and even moisturizes in the process, leaving your skin clean and hydrated. Mighty Foam Hand Sanitizer. How do you stay clean?
Krishna Roth Establishment. No job is too small or too large. We specialize in all types of fabricating, machinery, excavator repairs, rice field pumps, and hydraulic hoses. Visit us at Lot 113, Block CC Monrepo, East Coast, Demerara, or call 220-9624, 616-9416, or 619-7880. At Krishna Roth Establishment, no job is too small or too large.
What's going on here, man? Why do the two of y'all look so gloomy?
Uncle Joe, you know thief man been in we house and thief all we valuables, including we ID card. Now election come around and we want to go vote. We ain't get no ID card to identify ourselves. No, we can't go vote.
Well, you need to apply to GCOM to have your ID cards replaced. But you need not to worry that you won't be able to vote because you don't have your ID cards. GCOM has put other measures in place to accurately identify voters like you who may not have the ID cards.
Well, how they gonna do that? How they gonna know is we name on the list if we don't have ID to prove it?
In addition to your ID card, voters can present their valid passports or valid driver's license if they have these.
Really?
But further, GCOM has placed your photograph alongside your name on a folio which will be at the polling station. And if you go to the polling station without a photo ID, you will be asked to state your name and address. The elections official will look at your face and then compare it with the photo alongside your name on the folio to confirm that they are the same. Then you'll have to answer some questions to verify your identity. If the election official is satisfied that you are the person who you claim to be, you will be allowed to vote after taking an oath of identity.
So you get to vote?
For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-02779 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
HGP Nightly News. Former People's National Congress Reform member Germaine Figura has thrown his support behind President Irfaan Ali for a second term. He said his decision came after deep analysis of the local political landscape and belief in President Ali's transformative vision for Guyana. Antonia Day has that story.
Germaine Figura, former parliamentarian on the Partnership for National Unity, APNU has endorsed President Irfaan Ali and positive that he deserves a second term in office. During an interview over the weekend on the podcast Starting Point, Figura further expounded on why he will throw his support behind President Ali.
Whether you want to accept it or not, the facts and the evidence are there for all to see. It is tangibly out there. You could see the transformation, irrespective of the road network and agriculture and all of the respective sectors. It is being seen.
Figura, who was also the chairperson for the Public Accounts Committee, emphasized that this year's elections should be guided by reason, evidence, and vision, rather than blind loyalty to name, race, or popularity.
The electorate has to be very conscious of those realities and the leadership that was provided to bring about those realities and make an informed decision.
He added that citizens must choose leaders based on their service to the people and their ability to navigate a changing global landscape.
I believe President Ifran Ali, with some of his imperfections, like all leaders, there's no leader in this country who hasn't erred. But I believe his leadership far outweighs his imperfections. I believe he's committed to the development of this country.
Figura, once a harsh critic of the PPPC, repeatedly chastised the incumbent for what he said was a clear picture of the hypocrisy of the ruling regime's approach to good governance. Just 14 days ago, he said he regretted that under his tenure as chairman of the PAC, he was unable to scrutinize public spending under the PPPC government. He, however, said that the PAC was able to implement a more structured and rigorous approach to its proceedings. This included enforcing strict timelines for responses to audit queries, ensuring the mandatory presence of key accounting officers at hearings, and strategically utilizing the Auditor General's expertise to prioritize high-risking audit findings. He's now in full support of the very party he condemned. Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Thanks, Antonio. Despite being one of the fastest growing economies in the hemisphere due to oil wealth, Guyana is among countries with the highest poverty and extreme poverty rates in Latin America and the Caribbean. This is according to a November 2024 report by the Inter-American Development Bank. Find out more from Tiana Cole.
The report, titled quote-unquote 10 Findings About Poverty in Latin America and the Caribbean, identifies Venezuela, Honduras, Guatemala, and Guyana as the four nations where more than half of the population lives in poverty, and over 30% face extreme poverty. These statistics place Guyana in a troubling category, especially when compared to countries like Chile and Uruguay, which report poverty rates of 11% and 14% respectively. Quote unquote, if one's policy objectives were to reduce the number of countries with high rates of poverty, these are obvious candidates, the report noted. The findings are alarming given that Guyana began commercial oil production in 2020 and has since recorded significant economic growth. According to the International Monetary Fund, IMF, the country's real GDP expanded by more than 100% between 2020 and 2024, fueled by offshore crude exports. However, the IADB data indicates that this growth has not yet translated into meaningful poverty alleviation for much of the population. The World Bank, in a separate analysis, warned that all sectors' capital-intensive nature often limits direct job creation, leaving large sections of the population vulnerable, particularly those in rural and interland communities. The IADB noted that while high poverty rates can make it easier to target social assistance, since the poor makes up more of a larger portion of the population, this also underscores the urgency of expanding effective and transparent poverty reduction programs. With poverty and inequality remaining high, citizens and civil society groups have been increasingly vocal in calling for greater investments in education, healthcare, housing, and job creation across all regions of the country. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Thanks, Tiana. Join us after the break. We have more news for you.
Planning a cleanup? We can help. Vons Waste Management skip bins can be provided for home renovation projects, yard cleanup, or construction project. It's simple. Step 1, give us a call. Step 2, we put down the bin. Step 3, load it up with all of your junk. Step 4, we take it away. That's simple. Bins are also available in various sizes, so there is no job that is too big or too small. Call Cvance Waste Management today at 218-1455.
Smart Minds Educational Institute, offering preschool, nursery, and primary levels. Finally, a school that is every parent's dream. Located at 69 Crow Street, offering academic excellence, trained qualified teachers, small class sizes, personalized care, and one-to-one attention for your little ones. So if your child is for preschool, nursery, or primary level, come to Smart Mind, located at 69 Crow Street, or call 231-4885 or 600-9.
Monday, September 1, 2025 is Election Day. It is your constitutional right to vote at the elections, provided you are listed in the official list of electors. As a voter, you have certain rights. Example, the right to attend political meetings and rallies, know the various political parties and their stance on important national issues. Vote as your conscience tells you. You also have responsibilities which include voting only once for the general election and once for the regional election, respecting the voting rights of other electors, doing nothing to obstruct the election process. Vote early on Election Day for the political party of your choice. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-027729 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
As we continue, a cab driver has been placed on the police's wanted list for the rape of a 20-year-old woman at a bar along the east bank of Demerara. More details in this report.
The Guyana Police Force has issued a wanted bulletin for Barry Sullivan of Susdyke, East Bank, Demerara, in connection with the sexual assault of a female that circulated in a video on several social media sites. The incident occurred at Ragu's bar located at Susdyke Junction, East Bank, Demerara. Nightly News understands that the 20-year-old woman who was seen in the very disturbing video told police that she was drugged and raped by 3 males at Ragu Sports Bar at the Susdyke Junction, East Bank, Demerara. The police said that the woman, accompanied by activist Laura George, visited the Temeri police station on Friday last, and an official report was made. So far, police have arrested several persons, including the bartender, and efforts are being made to contact other suspects and witnesses who were seen in the video. The woman has since been placed into protective care. The bar has been closed indefinitely pending the outcome of the investigation, and witnesses or individuals with information are being urged to come forward. Minister of Human Services and Social Security Dr. Vindya Prasad, in commenting on the video, said that, quote, all those directly involved or complicit in that public rape at Ragu Bar must be held accountable. They must face the full force of the law. Minister Prasad urged persons who have information that will help to report it to the Temeri police station. The Amerindian People's Association said too that it is outraged and deeply shaken by the video. This act is not only a vile crime, but a blatant violation of human dignity and a chilling reminder of the systemic violence faced by indigenous women in Guyana. We demand that the perpetrators of this abhorrent crime face the full extent of the law without any delay or leniency. Justice must be swift, uncompromising, and complete. Equally disturbing is the reprehensible behavior of the bar's patrons who, instead of intervening and rendering assistance, choose to film this violent act. Their actions constitute active participation in a violent crime, and we call for criminal charges to be brought against every individual who enabled or recorded this atrocity. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
Antonio Day tells us that Guyana is well on its way to achieving CARICOM's 25% by 2025 food reduction agenda. This is according to Dr. Richard Blair, who is advisor to CARICOM with specific focus on the Ministry of Agriculture's agri-food system. Here is more.
Food growth for targeted items grew by 23%. And in 2024 alone, we met 82% of the overall target.
That was Dr. Richard Blair, advisor to CARICOM and the Ministry of Agriculture's agri-food system, delivering remarks at the 35th West Indies Caribbean Agricultural Economic Society Conference. The Agricultural Economics Conference brings together local, regional, and international participants to discuss key issues like agriculture innovation, climate resilience, food security, and economic transformation. Dr. Blair, while referencing the disruptions to supply chain operations posed by the COVID-19 pandemic and other occurrences, said that Guyana continues to lead in agro-processing.
All around this country, you're seeing springing up processing facilities that will serve to create employment for rural women, utilize resources from the very regions where they are located.
Conference Chair Dr. Donna Morrison noted that this year's event is particularly significant given Guyana's role in food production and agro-processing within the CARICOM region.
We will explore significant topics related to the theme drivers for agricultural and economic development. Discussions will examine the latest advancements in agricultural research aimed at promoting the economic and sustainable development of the region.
Meanwhile, Dr. Paloma Mohammed Martin, Vice Chancellor of the University of Ghana, spoke to the incorporation of technology in the agriculture sector.
We have the Institute for Food and Nutrition Security at the university, which is working on some fairly significant projects. And one of these projects, it has to do with, I think they've just secured funding from an international funder. And this is to create warehousing in Guyana for food supplies that are surplus from across the region.
The 5-day conference will feature presentations and panel discussions on key sub-themes such as agriculture, food and nutrition, transportation and infrastructure, tourism, the environment, the blue economy, innovation and entrepreneurship, and agricultural trade, highlighting priorities for sustainable development and economic resilience in the region. It is being hosted at the College of Medical Science, University of Guyana, Turkang, under the theme Drivers for Agriculture and Economic Development. The conference concludes on Friday. Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Antonio. Stay tuned. Regional News is up next.
Turbo with a new look, new style, with the same great taste in the 250 ml can. Everybody run out now. Go and go grab one. Me charge up with a Turbo 250 ml at your favorite spot. Wait, sell. New look, new can, same vibes. Jinxing, energize up your life. Vibes up, work time, anytime we are turn up the party with Turbo can. Turbo can, Turbo can, Turbo can. Now available in the new 250 ml can. Turbo energy drink. Charge up today.
Friend, hi, give me a minute now. I want you to clear something up for me.
Okay. What is it, ma'am? Why you look so confused?
I hearing all this talk about elections and voting, but I really don't understand how this could affect me.
All right, it's like this. Once you were registered by GCOM and you were 18 years or older by June 30th, 2025, you are entitled to vote, provided that you are listed in the official list of electors.
Well, I registered and I'm over 18, but how I would know if my name is on the official list of electors?
That's very easy. GCOM is displaying the official list of electors at two popular places in the community where you live. Just go there and check the list. Or you can go to GCOM's website and use the search tool.
Oh, what? Thanks. I'm going and doing it now. Yeah. My name on the list. I definitely voting at elections.
Nice.
For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-02779 or visit www.gcom.org.gy. How to vote. Having been identified as the voter you claim to be, you will be given a ballot paper that is stamped at the back on the top section as well as the bottom section in your presence. On the ballot paper, provision is made for you to vote twice, once at the top section where you vote for the general election and once at the bottom section where you vote for the regional election. Look for the name and symbol of the party of your choice in the top section of the ballot paper and mark your X in the empty box next to the party symbol. Then look for the name and symbol of the party of your choice in the bottom section and mark your X in the empty box next to the party's symbol. After you have voted, fold the ballot paper as shown by the election official, dip the first joint of your right index finger in the ink provided, then place the ballot paper in the ballot box. You will then have to peacefully depart the polling station. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-02779 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Interested in honoring or paying tribute to a loved one or just making a loved one feel special? HGP TV offers you all that and more. Air your birthday greetings, death announcements, and wedding anniversaries on HGP TV today. HGP TV offers affordable prices, convenience, and great services. Call us on 220-3660 or email us at sales@hgptv.com.
Good evening and welcome to Monday's edition of the Original News. Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva called a U.S. decision to impose visa bans on officials involved in former President Jair Bolsonaro's trial, quote-unquote, arbitrary and quote-unquote baseless, and said foreign interference in the judiciary was quote-unquote unacceptable. In a statement, the leftist leader said the action violated fundamental principles of respect and sovereignty between nations. In an escalation of tensions between U.S. President Donald Trump and the government of Latin America's largest economy, Washington imposed visa restrictions on Friday on Supreme Court Justice Alexander D. Moraes, his family, and other unnamed court officials. The visa bans were a response to the Supreme Court's decision to issue search warrants and restraining orders targeting Trump ally Bolsonaro, who was accused of plotting a coup to overturn the results of a 2022 election he lost. Over 200 Venezuelans who were deported from the United States on allegations of gang membership earlier this year and detained in an El Salvador jail arrived home to Caracas on Sunday. The release was part of a coordinated prisoner exchange with 10 Americans held in Venezuela returned to the United States. Officials from all three countries said. In a post on X, El Salvador President Nayib Bukele said the Americans were en route to El Salvador, from where they would continue their journey home, while U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio confirmed the release of 10 Americans who were detained in Venezuela. He thanked Bukele for his help in securing the agreement. Venezuela's government said 252 Venezuelans held in El Salvador had been freed. President Nicolas Maduro celebrated the arrival of 2 airplanes carrying them near Caracas. Trinidad and Tobago is now under a state of emergency following a proclamation by President Christine Carla Kangaloo in response to a widespread and coordinated national security threat. In a statement issued, the president said she was satisfied that a public emergency had arisen, citing recent developments, quote unquote, of such a nature and on so extensive a scale as to be likely endanger public safety. The state of emergency took immediate effect nationwide. The move came after a formal recommendation from Police Commissioner ALETHEA Guevara, based on intelligence pointing to the existence of a sophisticated criminal network operating from inside the prison system. According to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, the network uses smuggled mobile phones to facilitate encrypted communications between inmates and outside operatives. It is allegedly behind a series of planned attacks targeting senior police, members of the judiciary, the DPP's office, and prison officials. The TTPS says the group is linked to high-level crimes, including kidnappings, extortion, home invasions, and attempt to infiltrate state-funded programs. Thank you for watching. I am Tiana Cole.
Booming economic development for Linden under APNU, Norton VOWS. PPPC eyes 55,000 votes from BERBICE, again promises to revive the sugar industry. PPPC destroyed the very fabric of the Guyana police force. APNU candidate Paul Williams breaks his silence. And Guyana's oil wealth yet to translate into meaningful poverty alleviation, listed among the region's poorest IDB report. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm ALETHEA Grant. Thanks for watching.